After the criminal killing of Racehorse Hill 16 by the invasion of activists into the Grand National Racecourse, and two other horses unrelated to activists, the Kentucky Derby festivities were barely affected none at all by the deaths of 7 racehorses. This leaves us overjoyed in the knowledge that the horses got to live like kings before their inexplicable deaths. Joining us in the studio is an animal rights shill, Vegan Postmortem. Hello Omnimortem, how are you? Fine, thanks. So don't you fools realize that racehorses are very well looked after? They live better than most people, and they truly live like kings. It seems to me that there's a lot of confusion and deception going on to make this statement that racehorses live like kings. This article from 2015 is a very clear example for the several ways the deception is made. Number 1. Some of the claims that are supposed to prove king status of racehorses are basic welfare confused with opulence. Number 2. Some claims look and sound rich or cool, but the richness has nothing or very little to do with horse care and is thrown in there to confuse us and add embellishment because we associate those things with richness or care. Number 3. Some are a betrayal of the horse's trust to put them in these positions, presented as proof for their cooperation, as if to say, see? They like it, when the reality is that these horses are trained from a young age to trust their trainers, and then that trust is used to break them step by step. Number 4. Some of the statements are equating the situations animals are in to similar situations humans are in, while disregarding dissimilarities, context, and most importantly lack of consent or the upholding of horses' best interest. Let's see how many things we can find in this article. When trainer Eric Willow shipped the 5-year-old gelding Moreno from his home track in California to West Virginia 3 days before the horse's running on April 18th in the 1.5 million Charlestown Classic, he tried to make sure everything went perfectly the entire trip for his star racehorse. Instead of flying across the country to an East Coast airport, then immediately continuing the journey by long van ride, Willow broke up the travel. He first flew Moreno in a specially designed chartered cargo plane to Kentucky, where the horse could spend the night on his family farm in Lexington. The horses just walk up the ramp and go into a stall and they feel secure and safe. There's a foot straw and it's a box stall, 7 by 8 feet, so the length of the horse, with a bucket of water and a hay rack. Basic welfare. It's less crowded than how we fly. Less security, less disorganization, less hassle. I think I'd rather fly with the horse. So complete disregard of the fact that the horse didn't ask for it, their best interest is nowhere to be seen, and is likely to be flying to their death for entertainment. When Moreno arrived at the farm, Guillot placed the horse in a stall, let him drink water, walked him and had groom Sixto Chavez give him a bath. Guillot checked Moreno's vital signs and fluid levels and then let the animal rest. So the most basic of welfare done not exclusively or at all for the animal, but to take care of the investment. The next day at 5 a.m., Guillot played a CD of the song Dueling Banjos from the film Deliverance in the back of the van to keep the horse company. This is a mix of embellishment and basic care. Moreno is tied up in the back for hours, definitely not like a king. 2 days later, Moreno won the Classic, one of the richest races in the country, in track record time. I wonder if Moreno gives a shit about any of this, and selection bias is a huge part of this story. It would not have been told if Moreno was one of the unlucky ones. In the world of high-level thoroughbred racing, few things are less understood by the general public than the overwhelming quality of care received by the horses. The sports leaders have been going through wrenching efforts recently to get each state to adopt uniform national medication policies. Horses suffer 1.89 fatal injuries per 1,000 starts, according to the Jockey Club, an organization founded in 1894 and dedicated to improving breeding and racing. I'm so glad they brought up breeding. If they wouldn't, then I would have to work it in somehow. Because, in case any of you were wondering, horses are bred almost exactly the same as cows, maybe using better trained staff, since the investment is higher. How much higher? Bull sperm costs around $60 per straw, and stallion sperm costs around $1,200 per straw. Let's point at the turnip in the middle of the goddamn room. Everything here is done for money, not for horses, and that's not what I would call care. The devs, largely on the track during racing or workouts, is undeniable, yet with most exceptions taking place at the bottom rungs of the game, the trainers go to great lengths to treat their horses like they, not the owners, are the kings of the sport of kings. They get talcum powdered on their asses after they get bathed. We manicure their feet every day. Their teeth get taken care of. The majority of horses wouldn't get this in a regular setting. Racehorses get exercise and treatment that most others don't. Basic fucking welfare. And to make the point, he contrasts this with horses that don't get any welfare. It's like comparing a homeless person with a poor person and saying that the poor person is king. Ridiculous. I'm gonna skip ahead, but the full article is in the description. The stalls are big and airy, open in the front with windows in the back because, as herd animals, horses like to see each other. Each stall has a fan to cool the animals on hot days. All the straw used for bedding is imported. The feed motions horses eat is a proprietary blend, protein heavy and high in fats, nutrients and vitamins. The trainer also always shops for the finest hay he can find. None of this is done for the animal. Why do horses need a high protein, high fat diet? They eat forage in nature, and I'm not saying that to claim that they can't have a different diet to what is natural to them, although the next paragraph is this. The horses are treated with omeprazole, which prevents gastric ulcers, gastroesophageal reflux disease, and other digestive problems. This is basic welfare again, but this specific diet is potentially creating these digestion problems, and this diet is created for peak performance, not for what's best for horses. This is the thread that ties all of these tactics together. All of this is done for money, none of it is done for the horses to thrive and be happy. Not to mention that this is an example of the best welfare, and that's highly manipulative. The way meat eaters are shoving a picture of grass-fed cow in our faces, while the next picture is a steak coming from a factory-farmed cow. But all of this matters very little once a horse is starting to lose. I had enough. But what do you think? Do racehorses live like kings? Or are we being fooled with uneven equation and colorful storytelling? So what do you have to say about it? Your group bears the sole responsibility for the shooting of Hill 16, and how dare you tell us not to make money on horse racing? That's a great question, Omni. I think that unfortunately we are out of time.